Well,
You might be paying it. Not my phone. You keep your $50.
well, we've already paid for it, because everybody said they wanted it. I did ask you. I asked you the day before I went,
But they're phone.
and I said, we're gonna have A53s. You don't remember the conversation? We're all gonna have A53s.
I'll say you have the phone, but you didn't say you did. So I'm just not listening. Keep my phone and.
You wouldn't rather have your private business separate, your private stuff separate?
My phone, and I get cards, it's got my phone number on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep it every day.
Yeah, okay, because you can go forward to this one and be done. That's up to you. All right.
If this, can you turn that back in?
Most likely.
And what's the
15
kickback?
days.
Now, what's the kickback?
I don't know.
For that one? We should.
We're gonna find out when they haven't get this straight out there.
So if we get the kickback, we can give that to him.
Is there what?
Cell phone policy going up?
Here.
How deep?
You know, listen,
Can you go?
I wonder how we got out of there. See, we should have a policy. What you're giving.
Is that?
and what I was asking is if get back to the rather than the 50, but whatever this costs that we don't have to pay. and give to them.
Yeah, if we can get it back, yeah.
It's just a misunderstanding.
Yeah. Better off than being on their own phone.
Compensate.
That phone, they need to come out of work, it's like.
Well, see what we can get back, see if we can get it back.
Instead, right now you get what, 50?
Yeah.
Well, whatever we save on this, we'll put like we've been doing. I don't know if it'll be 50 or not.
So we have to go up and get it activated?
So like, I'll say,
See,
plug it on. Huh?
That's not the DPS cell phone policy.
Are you the new town lawyer?
I'm not a town lawyer,
Oh.
but I would not sign off on that.
That's fine.
I would not sign off on that, but
I'm not getting one, so I don't.
Yeah.
as somebody that's had a company.
That's fine.
I don't think that's in the best interest of the town employee.
So what our job is to do with the best interest of the town of Brownfield.
I don't
So
think.
that's,
is she out of order?
yeah, she's out of order. Always is.
Is that order?
See, there you go. Enough,
I know.
enough.
Good.
All right, Willie isn't here, so we'll wait for his.
Share. Is something that affects you would like,
See, Cindy,
yeah,
enough.
You're not doing what's in the best interest of the town or its
Cindy,
employees.
stop.
You haven't.
You-
I-
Stop. That's done. Zach Everett?
He called and said he thinks he has the problem resolved, so
Okay.
he's not coming tonight.
All right. Michelle?
She went to.
Oh, I gotta find my agenda.
Who wants to discuss the
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
she wants
holiday?
to know about the Thanksgiving holiday, and she also wanted to know about the Christmas tree decorating. If the public works is gonna put the lights up or
Lights up where,
on the Christmas tree,
this one out here?
Yeah.
There's lights on it.
do they work? And does it need lights?
Could you check that?
There used to be a Christmas tree committee, that did that all along. I don't know what happened to the Christmas tree committee.
Didn't see one last year.
I thought
It's over, that's why.
Michelle's got 10 boxes of Christmas tree lights downstairs, that I don't know where to go.
Okay,
If they go to the tree or the building, or
okay.
you have, there's lights on it.
So
Yeah,
Thanksgiving is a Thursday,
Tuesday,
so
okay.
you take 13th Friday.
Well, with the Christmas
Friday.
tree.
Yeah.
It'll be-
Is that you good with that, John? Thursday and
What?
Friday, Thanksgiving, Thursday and Friday? Yeah,
And they have Monday too, right? Do they have Tuesday after that?
no, because they have Friday. They
Because
don't.
they have Friday, right? All right, yeah, that works for me.
Yeah. Planning board,
We don't,
no? Okay,
and, Dick, we don't need to be on every week.
okay,
We'll let you know
all right.
what comes up.
Willie. Give me Willie.
Thank you.
Willie. Step right up.
Oh, you've got his agreement or?
You have. There's your, the agreement for the cell phone.
All right, I'm just gonna review this.
There you go.
Comp plan? For 91?
Complaint for line one.
That's me,
Oh, that's you, okay, go ahead.
that's me. Things are out of control in my opinion. And I think, they've gone away from, what the whole thing was intended. With what I witnessed at the informational meeting, I just think, I think they've lost touch of what was meant to be, so I just wanted to do a review of facts. Starting in, the comprehensive plan in 1991 gave the authority for the planning board. The planning, development, review, and land use ordinance preparation functions of the town are carried out by the elected planning board. The planning board members are elected for 5-year terms. The planning board, with assistance from many other citizens, has been responsible for the preparation of this comprehensive plan. This is the 1991 comprehensive plan. June 6th of 1992, establishment of the Brownfield Planning Board ordinance. Establishment pursuant to Article 8, Part 2, Section 1 of the Maine Constitution and 30A MRSA Section 3001, the town of Brownfield hereby establishes the Brownfield Planning Board. The board shall consist of 5 members and 2 associate members. When there is a permanent vacancy, the municipal officers shall, within 60 days of its occurrence, appoint a person to fill a vacancy to the current fiscal year end, June 30. Vacancy shall occur upon the resignation or death of any member, or when a member ceases to be a voting resident of the town, or when a member fails to attend 4 consecutive regular meetings, or fails to attend at least 75% of all meetings during the preceding 12-month period. When a vacancy occurs, the chairman of the board shall immediately so advise the municipal officers in writing. Duties. The board shall adopt rules for transaction of business, and the secretary shall keep a record of its resolutions, transactions, correspondence, findings, and determinations. All records shall be deemed public and may be inspected at reasonable times. Duties and powers. The board shall be the municipal reviewing authority of subdivisions under 30A MRSA sections 4401. The board shall perform such duties and exercise such powers that are provided by the Brownfield ordinance and the laws of the state of Maine. The board may obtain goods and services necessary to its proper function within the limits of the appropriations made for that purpose. The Brownfield Planning Bylaws, Municipality of Brownfield. This is 1992. Planning board members are expected to be knowledgeable of laws, ordinances, regulations, and board policies and to abide by them. Vacancies of officers shall immediately be filled by regular election procedures. The board shall perform such duties and exercise such powers as are provided in the municipal ordinances and the laws of the state of Maine. All comments addressed to the board shall be made through the chairperson. The board in reaching said decision shall be guided by standards specified in the applicable statute, ordinance, or regulation, as well as by community goals and policies as specified in a comprehensive plan. So then we go to the bylaws may be amended by a majority vote of the board at a regularly scheduled meeting. The ordinance cannot without town meeting vote. Adopted by vote of the planning board at a regular meeting on July 7th, 1992. Chairperson C. David Thompson. Between 1992 and 1998, articles were written, voted, and compiled into a 1998 document that at the information meeting, they said that document wasn't valid because it wasn't signed. We can go back and find through the town meetings between 92 and 98, where every article compiled in that 1998 update is voted in. Revised by vote of the planning board at a regular meeting on March 5th, 2002, chairperson Bruce Collins. Revised by vote of the planning board at a regular meeting on August 7th, 2007, chairperson Yvette Ponko. The 2007 Brownfield Planning Board bylaws were accepted by the planning board on June 4th, 2019 to be used as the current bylaws going forward. No chair knows, no, I don't know who it is. And then 2015 bylaws was updated, but I don't, we don't find them. We don't know where they are, or who's, or where are they? And 2018 bylaws, they're missing, or were. We got copies. Those irregularities of the comp committee and the planning board. And they wanted to divide they wanted to separate the planning board and the comprehensive committee. And through the ordinance, anything with a comprehensive committee has to go through the chair of the planning board. So with what I witnessed at the informational meetings, there's a lot of muddy water. There's a lot of things that don't add up. Answers where it's confusion. So this is the way it's supposed to go, and it's not this way. So how do we fix it?
It's got a question, it's just, I've heard what you read, but I'm not sure
So the comprehensive plan, the first document you read was formed in 1991. Is that statement?
That's the authority to make it. 1991 comprehensive plan gives you the authority. So the ordinance, the planning board development review and land use ordinance for preparation functions of the town are carried out by the elected planning board. The planning board members are elected for 5-year terms. The planning board, with assistance from many other citizens, has been responsible for the preparation of this comprehensive plan. This gives the authority to form the planning board. June 6th of 1992 establishes the Brownfield Planning Board ordinance.
I guess I would argue, in fact, with that statement that you just read, that also gives the authority in that comprehensive plan for other outside individuals to be involved as well, as it states in that document.
Through the chair of the planning board. It's written in black and white.
I'm not sure she's here to ask, or any prior chairman of the planning board.
And this isn't to point the finger. This is just informational that there's a problem. There's a mass confusion problem.
Bill,
Not at all sure I'll clear up any of the confusion, perhaps I'll just add more to it. Prior to February of 2018, I don't know how many months back, remember the Poland Springs wars? Poland Springs had sent a guy in to talk to the board. We had several meetings with a gentleman from Poland Springs who indicated that Poland Springs was looking in this area for someplace perhaps to do some business. A rather large and certainly vocal group of folks in town sprang on the word, didn't want any part of Poland Springs coming and taking, quote, our water. That went on for I don't know how long and so many meetings. And in several of those meetings, people would say, it's too bad we don't have some ability to say this part of town you can't go in. That part of town you can't build that in, etc. So there were any number of people who thought, well, maybe we should look into zoning. And February 27th, 2018, which is a Tuesday night, a Board of Selectmen's meeting. Jane Anderson, Deb Merrill, Lisa Thompson, Kurt Wood, Christine Gillespie, Barbara Smith, and Linda Draper, I believe it says, came and said, we would like to start, as they entitled it, the zoning committee for a better brownfield. They asked us if we could give them permission to do that. So we created that committee. They were to look into this. We didn't give them a time limit. They were to come up with a plan, so to speak, for zoning. They were to bring it back to the board, and we told them maybe we'll do something with it, maybe we won't, but that's the way it goes. After a period of time, and it was quite a period of time, a couple of them came back, and I remember Chris Gillespie was the one who did the talking for them, and said they couldn't get anywhere talking in terms of zoning in Brownfield. They were running up against too many obstacles. They even referenced some other town that had paid some outfit pretty good size sum of money to do a zoning plan for them. So this group then said they were going to start a new committee, and it was going to be a comprehensive plan committee. Seeing no harm in that, the board said, go for it. Come back and give us what you think lies in the future of this community. And the zoning will have to be handled by an outside agency or somebody else in town, but we're not going to touch zoning now. And that second group was formed on June 22nd of 21, and that also was a Tuesday night. And these should be in the meeting notes, and I believe there's meeting notes in Wanda's office that will reflect these. But it started in 2018 with the zoning for a better brownfield type thing.
Correct, and every bit of that should have gone through the chair of the planning board. According to the bylaws of the planning board.
My wife was selectman, I was chairman of the planning board. And I know I had to open up a couple times and they were involved at that time when she was on the board. She was working with them. And we have 3 members already on the comprehensive plan from the planning board. So we're fully aware of what is going on, John, what has gone on. Planning board member.
Bruce?
Back in 2018, I had to establish that the comprehensive plan was a legal document. So when they say they formed the committee in 2018, they were denying it even was adopted in 2018. And just because the prior selectmen had appointed an illegal committee to do the work, it doesn't mean it should still be legal today just because they said it was legal back then, when our documentation say counter to that point.
Yeah, Eric?
I'll start with Bruce, you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
I will say that this original zoning and then followed with the comprehensive plan committee was notified upon all of their formation. I remember having a conversation with Ms. Gillespie, that any document that they had at that time that they brought to the Board of Selectmen would then have to be passed off to the planning board to be vetted or okay. It would be passed through the planning board for the planning board, and that's where Cindy was involved, and Lilith was involved with it. Because at that time, the planning board, several of the members agreed that they were too overwhelmed to take something like this on that the town needed. So as Mitch stated, the planning board was well aware of it, whether there's anything in writing or not. I would say that all those meetings are on a hard drive someplace in this office, audio recorded. So somebody wants to waste some time and listen to them all those meetings are audio recorded, so that it can be proven that the planning board was well aware, gave their blessing. I believe Cindy even said that they didn't have enough time to deal with it at that present time.
Okay, Bruce?
Yes, I have an email from Eric to legal counsel where Eric had denied that the comprehensive had even been adopted. And the email says, in my opinion, that from Eric, that the comprehensive plan was never adopted. And I had to prove that it was adopted and it was enacted. And Eric could not deny the fact after that. So now he's saying he was all for it, but before he was saying it never existed.
There is a difference between adopted and enacted.
The difference is that it was acted on after it was adopted. It was amended several times after it was adopted. That's enactment, sir.
Yeah, Joe?
John, that information that you have, could you have Alvina make copies for us? And,
I'm not even gonna go ahead and say a piece, yeah.
make copies of it so that we can review it, meaning the comprehensive plan committee. And if you want to send that to the planning board as well, then maybe we can all get together and figure it out.
Wait a minute, the what? I missed it.
Planning board, because you mentioned the planning board. And
Right.
it sounds like they're an integral part of this.
I think where I'm going, or where I think I'm gonna wind up. The waters are so muddy, the confusion is so much, and. I wish that, I hope, did they record that informational meeting?
We did not, we took notes.
I wish somebody did, and I wish you would watch it. From my perspective, it doesn't matter whether I'm for the plan or against it. The answers and things that were coming out were so incredibly biased, in my opinion. What I think I want to do is compile the 1991 comprehensive plan, all the comprehensive plan now, all the documents, and go to Augusta and get a straight answer to exactly what does it mean.
What mean?
What the comprehensive plan means. everything. What's it mean? We're getting conflict and when I asked that question to MMA, the people told me I didn't understand is why I wrote the question, is why I didn't approve of the plan. Because I didn't understand. Okay, so my gut was telling me something. I read it, so my gut was telling me something. So, okay, I'll write MMA. If it comes back, no, I don't understand. Well, it didn't come back, no, it came back, yes, and yes, I've got it and I do understand. And now I'm getting to where I don't think the board understands what they've created.
The comprehensive plan,
Yeah,
well. I can't speak for the whole committee, but
right.
as far as what I'm saying is, I think you're wrong with that. You
And
know,
that's
we-
okay. I may be.
that-
But to clear that up, we're not getting it here in Brownfield.
Well, I don't know what you're gonna achieve going to Augusta. You know, like if you wanted to make a conference call and see if we could get Tom on the phone. You know, like you could.
Tom who?
Tom Arigliolo.
No, I want MMA or a lawyer.
Well, I think it's only fair that you would have the senior state planner with MMA.
Why?
And that,
I'm gonna have all the documentation right there. They can review it unbiased, neutral.
because Tom's the state planner and he's the one who.
We may not
oversees-
even need it.
hold on,
I don't know.
oversees the comprehensive plan. So, you know, like it was,
I'm not addressing this last 5 minutes of conversation. I would like to make a comment about the terminology that Bruce used, that the committee, that the selectmen had created an illegal committee. The Board of Selectmen is entitled to create committees, give them assignments, even give them a time limit in which they can perform their duty, and then can disband them. That's the way things work, and that's not illegal. And that is what we did with this committee. There was nothing, nothing was intended to be underhanded. There wasn't anything sneaky about it. We did it right at this table like we've done in the past. It was a perfectly legal maneuver.
And this is not pointing fingers or trying to be malicious in any way. But we're not getting facts, black and white. We're getting everybody's interpretation of it. Is where I'm coming from.
Bruce?
Yes, the comprehensive plan recommends that it should be updated every 8 to 10 years. I went back 8 times in 2006, having to do an update, and I was not very well received. And that just, for that point right there, I'm trying to tell you that I did everything I could possibly do to get them to update. That's all that document needs to be updated. Doesn't need to be thrown into the trash and a new one generated. That's not what it needs. Just throwing the baby out with the passport. And as far as retrospect to Mr. Flynn just said, I went to the selectman's office, meeting and tried to establish there is a procedure to redo this. And he didn't want to hear anything I had to say, period.
Probably because the committee had been created to look into it.
Well, I asked you about amending,
Okay.
when you.
This is not what, yeah, this is not what I'm looking for.
Meeting.
Okay.
And if you guys would like me to send it to you via email or whatever, I definitely can. I think that would be, to do this or not, but maybe post it on the Brownfield website and let the town know that it's there so they can watch it. Everybody that missed it that night, that didn't get to have like a.
Yeah, you wanna send,
No
send,
problem with
send
that.
it to, Elvina? Okay, Sally?
I have a two-part question. And, I don't know, I'll address it to you and then perhaps maybe Joe may be able to answer it. One is, I mean, I've been coming to the meetings a lot. And I know the information has been on the Brownfield website for a long time. So I'm not sure why there's been miscommunication or all of a sudden it's become muddy. Because the document has been out there for a very long time and Joe's been at the meetings every week for a long time, and he's been here to answer questions that at least 2 select boards and on. So I'm not sure why it's muddy all of a sudden. So I guess that's my first question is, when did it all of a sudden become muddy? And 2 is, who's paying for all of the research that's being done? Because it seems like there's a lot of research that's being done, so is the town paying someone to do all of this research?
I get 5,000 a year. Is that what I get?
Yeah.
For doing the slot rest
Or is all
with Bruce is helping me, yeah.
this Bruce?
Yeah.
Bruce doing research, or is it Alvino? Are you?
No, he's got the documents and we're compiling them.
I don't swear.
Bruce, go ahead,
You know what I'm talking about, would you put?
Cindy, Bruce, go ahead. That's, you weren't going through me, you were going straight directly to her. Bruce, go ahead.
You answer my question.
Bruce,
I was just gonna say, the reason why the waters are so muddy is because there's so much disinformation out there and misrepresentation of the facts.
Because Bruce is allowed to speak.
That's why the waters are so muddy. If somebody from the state would come in and explain what the plan, a comprehensive plan does and does not do, and what it does and does not represent, we wouldn't have to play the he said, she said game with.
Joe is offering
Excuse
that.
me, you're on
Cindy.
the corner.
Joe is offering that, and Joe.
I am not down on the floor.
Cindy, you wanna leave? Then stop interrupting. Stop interrupting. Then, Polly, go ahead.
So. My understanding is that there was the original plan that was created and then. And it wasn't updated and it wasn't updated and it wasn't, I'm sorry.
Yes, yeah.
So it wasn't updated and then. The town selectmen asked that there be a committee or the planning board asked that there be a committee to create a comprehensive plan. I don't see anything in there.
That is not a problem. The committee's not a problem. The problem is, it needs to go through the chair of the planning board. The one in the comprehensive committee is an advisory board to the planning board. And everything has to go through the chair of the planning board in the bylaws of the planning board.
So it's just a procedural problem that you have with the document as it is.
Through
It needs
all the way
to-
back from like 1998 or a little before.
So, but you said that you're seeing muddy waters. I mean, have you not been working with the committee or like, have you
It's-
not been here to answer questions?
Somehow it came to this through procedures not going by protocol. I don't know if that's what created it. For some reason, everybody's putting in input, not going through the chair, it's gotten so biased that they're entrenched on giving us an answer we want to hear in favor of the plan, no matter what. That's the impression I'm getting, and it's documented whether you watch the video.
The plan, see any directives, there was no, the town will or must, or no ordinances, or, I mean, there were things that the town should ask, and these questions are based on surveys. That they've done, so that based on the input from townspeople, they've created a document that kind of points us to a future for Brownfield. That's what I read.
Until it's passed, and then once it's passed, it becomes a huge problem.
It's not the end of the world, like, just because it says that, you know, these questions should be asked, or we should make things available or find out information, doesn't mean that it's going to happen. And, you know.
We have to make sure of that.
Have you read it?
Eric,
I've heard Joe mention it a couple times, and then I've heard John mention it, and I guess I personally have issues with like the selectmen going to Augusta to meet with MMA to just discuss this issue. And I've heard Joe mention that a conference call would be better, so that people that are on the planning board, people that are on the comprehensive plan committee, the board of selectmen could be involved as a group, so that it becomes like what it's seeming that it's being called right now, it's a he said, she said game.
I may do it electronically if we can, but it's all the information to give to them. What does it mean for the town of Brownfield?
I just think it would be better for the groups
I don't,
involved.
if you put the groups involved, then it starts becoming a muddy watered bias, huge, whatever, frenzy.
It's
Vinny?
also open communication.
Yeah, Vinny?
Yeah, one of the meetings I had asked if the state had notified town or the selectmen if there were any problems with the existing comprehensive plan. The selectmen said no, they've never been notified by the state. Now, the comprehensive plan come up with a booklet, which is very informative. It's very, there's a lot of history in it and everything else. But, and like Bruce said, that things can be amended or added to the current comprehensive plan. And maybe instead of trying to get everything through the door at once, it could be selected out which things were most important, most imperative, and most applied to the situations that are happening now, instead of, that's in the proposed comprehensive plan, and try to work with the selectmen and the town voting on it. It seems like there's so much in there. It may not be muddy, but it's a lot to take in. And so maybe it just should be piecemealed in as needed to the current one. That way there, we still have protection by not eliminating the current one to get the new proposed one.
Okay, Bruce, I mean, Lisa first.
It
Lisa.
just seems like a lot of different people getting letters with different answers. It seems to me it would make sense what you just said, is that I think instead of going separately, I think you need to have other people there to be able to come to the meeting and say, I was there, I heard the same thing, or I heard something different.
And what I was after for was unbiased, neutral mediator. What does it mean? No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying whoever views it.
Pretty regularly for the past month or so, trying to anyway. And I heard you just say something about the comprehensive plan. I wish I could go back to your recording, but it almost, you turned around what you just said to everybody. So I'm just trying to understand what where are you trying to go?
Bruce?
I asked for a very simple definition of what is an update. I couldn't even get a simple question answered from the committee. And that's this person, he said, the state doesn't have any definition of a update. But later on in the meeting, after talking about different issues, he says to me, Bruce, have you ever heard of an update? I said, and I said, and now you know what an update is, after I specifically asked the question 2 months ago. What is an update? Could you please define an update? An update is not writing a brand new comprehensive plan, period.
Joe?
I think I'd like to go back to like my original suggestion that select board, comprehensive plan, and the planning board, if you want, do it as a group. And if you want to get together first, maybe some of these things can be worked out. But I think if you're going to involve MMA, my gut feeling is that MMA would tell you they want Tom involved also. And
It's gonna, if things happen and it doesn't, people don't like it, it's gonna end up in the court no matter what we do.
I just want
which side of the fence we're on, those either it ends up in the court and the judges and lawyers figure it out. So whether we agree with it or not, I mean, that's what happens.
yeah, I'm just saying that, like if there's certain things or specific things that we could address with the select board, I would be willing to do that.
Yep.
But I think that if you really want to find out what is the comprehensive plan and you pose that to MMA is going to say, well, you need to get Tom involved. And I sent a
that's
letter.
out of my control what they do. I'm giving them the information where they go to get it. That's up to them.
You just said you wanted to go up to Augusta and meet with MMA.
I don't meet with them. I want to give them the information and I leave. And wherever they get their information to what it means is up to them.
So what information do you want to give them?
The 1991 comprehensive plan, all the updates, the new comprehensive plan. What does this mean for the town of Brownfield if passed?
So maybe the thing to do is to get in touch with MMA and pose that question to them.
That's all I'm saying.
And
I'll
say,
go-
"Well,
I'm
you
not
said go
posing,
up there, and I'm trying to avoid that, trying
Why?
to make a trip, but because I think it's a waste of time to go up there.
that's my time.
All right, well, all right, Eric,
Just trying to move it along a little bit. So there's been some concern about recording of the informational hearing and stuff. Is there any way that we could possibly work out to be able to have the Zoom equipment at the community center, so it's a next informational meeting?
we can try it.
Zoom it live, we might be able to record it to Zoom so that people could watch it later. I think it would be held for posterity so that people could view it later, however we could do it.
Very good idea. And like I said to Joe that night, I'd like to sit down with them and we'll have some pizzas and we'll sit here and talk about it. Not point fingers at people, just talk about it. Say, hey, what do you think of this? And what do you think of that? Well, I like it, I don't like it, whatever, and hash it out without everybody getting mad and upset over it. Just sit here and talk about it.
We're willing to do that.
Yeah.
And I had sent an email to Albina this afternoon saying, please check with the select board, see when they be able to sit down. So we're willing to do that. Who knows, maybe we won't get any place, but if we don't, to John's point that he wants to ask them, what is this? Pose that question to them first and see what they say.
I want, my whole intention, I don't mind the Brownfield people voting on it, but I want them to be informed of exactly what it is.
All right, Mitch?
The comprehensive plan, the new one, has been approved by the state. I don't think it's the lawyers that should be involved, it should be the planning board from the state that approved it. In other words, they're the ones that should be comparing these, because they're the ones that are knowledgeable. The lawyers up there aren't trained in planning at MMA, I almost guarantee it. But you have the state officials that already have approved the latest comprehensive plan and gone over and given comments back. So the people that should be reviewing this and giving you comments, good or bad, is not the lawyers, is the people that are in charge of the planning.
Yes, the whole idea of having somebody from the state planning office is so we don't have to play the he said, she said game. The legislative body has been fed a lot of disinformation over that. And I didn't want to have people playing the he said, well, the state guy said this, or the state guy said that, rather than having the state guy here. So people can field their questions directly to him. And there's no reason why they couldn't have somebody from the state. I asked about that and they said, no, we're not gonna have anybody from the state. Maybe later down the road sometime after it's been voted on, I guess. I don't know.
I'd like to end this up pretty quick here.
So with the comprehensive plan, whether it comes in piecemeal or in total, with the selectmen in their agreement on changes to the current ordinance, right? Anything has to go before the town to be voted on at a public meeting. Is that right? Okay, just want to verify.
Yep. Joe, and that's the last one. That's it.
Yeah, just one last thing. What I said about somebody coming from the state, we were fortunate. We asked that question way back when, and Tom said, it's impossible for me to come. Then in a subsequent conversation, Tom said, guess what? I'm going to be at the Freiburg Fair. Okay, we're going to have our meeting on October 7th. He said, I can make it. Then we agreed to cancel the October 7th meeting, and he couldn't make it. And since then, we've asked them, and just to fill you in on what he does, there's only 2 people at the state who review these plans, and they do it once a week. That was the last thing that I was told. So we did make an attempt to try to get him here, and we could still make another one. And I know you had said, Dick, that you were going to give him a call to see if you could influence him to come, which we more than welcome. We'd be glad to have him here.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, comprehensive plan,
Can I say something? Please?
last one. Last one, fine.
I'm not quite sure that I understand why there's such a problem with this comprehensive plan. It's a plan. It's not an ordinance. It's not a rule. It's nothing that says anything has to happen any specific way. And all you people are dickering about, the plan. It's a plan. So isn't the point of the plan like to better the town and to make things better for everybody? And doesn't everybody agree that like making the town better is a good thing? So why all this confusion and chaos?
Amen, brother.
It does have implementation will be at this time, and this will be at this time. It does have times and that things have to be done. So it is more of an ordinance if you read it correctly. It isn't saying, well, we might do this. It's saying it will have this done.
And did those things get done when we had the last one?
Some did, some didn't. Quite a few things did, quite a few things didn't. But that's the end. That's the end. We're all done with this.
If you read it.
Well,
So there's
that's
a
right.
version that's
Read it correct.
everybody else.
Okay, that is an option.
All right.
They don't want to.
So what's the proposed comprehensive plan we want to talk about? Do you have that
What's the what?
proposed comprehensive plan?
We didn't,
Okay, you didn't put that on.
we didn't ask to be on.
I thought it was on.
To keep going.
Oh, all right.
We'll let you know. And let's go.
Schedule budget committee meetings. That should be done right away.
Yeah, I requested to be on the agenda, being vice chairman of the budget committee. Because I would like to ask the selectmen and Wanda and Hannah, Elvina, because she's on the budget committee, but she's got a lot of work she does.
Mhm.
So what evenings of the week would be most convenient for the selectmen and Elvina? I mean, obviously Tuesday's out,
Well, Tuesday night right after the select meeting. Why not?
because the planning board meets.
Well, can the planning board meet somewhere else? I mean, this is,
What's up, yeah.
We'll bring that up tonight.
okay. Cause I think if we need to get going on this,
Yeah,
and instead of tying up 2 nights for us. You just tie up 1 night and. When,
so Tuesday night would be the preferred night, okay, so. I'll email all the members of the budget committee and let them know that there's gonna be, so. We can't do it next Tuesday, because next Tuesday's election,
right,
right? So it'd have to be a week from the following Tuesday, if that's the only night that's most preferred.
yeah,
Okay,
let us hear back from Joe first, after thing,
well, yeah, okay, yeah,
all right,
well, you got my email and she,
Yeah.
just let me know, and, yeah.
okay?
Yeah, and the other thing I had to bring up was, and I brought it up before, I mentioned to the town is. Maybe the town should have at the public, small meetings like this, budget committee meetings, selectmen's meeting, an air purifier. Because there was a program on the radio from the CDC. And the recommendation was open the windows for ventilation, but that's not possible in the winter.
Mhm.
So there is a air purifier that is an HEP, high efficiency particulate. That also includes viruses and bacteria for filtration. And I think when the public are invited to a meeting, they should know that we're trying to do everything possible to protect them. Plus the members of the boards.
Mhm.
And so I've got information again.
Okay,
I'll just give it to you and you can look at it. Consumer Reports recommended purifier. And it's the one with low noise, so won't be interfering. And the prices on it, permitted places to buy it, so,
okay, perfect, thank you.
yeah.
All right, broadband,
Updates are very small. We haven't met since, the broadband committee hasn't met since the last time I met with you, so we got mapping updates done. Input that's been sent on the mission, and we expect to see the requests for proposals going out. Our next meeting is a week from tomorrow night. I don't know if you guys have given any thought to one or more of you attending that meeting. Tomorrow, Wednesday evening via Zoom.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't have any updates.
With the Zoom.
Yeah.
It's a Zoom meeting, correct?
It is, all of ours are Zoom meetings, yes.
Oh, just an exclamation.
The department heads.
Yeah, Cliff left anyway, so I'm all set. It was off the phone anyway. All right, you make a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, Willie,
Sorry, I missed the first 5-7 minutes of the meeting. And I missed the department heads and I also missed the policies, bank withdrawal, US title issue, etc. And I didn't know if there was a discussion about that.
no, all that, the bank policy and the US Cellular is to pay them direct. So we get a lesser rate. That's all that is.
Right, so what I'm saying is the new policies that are being put in place, the department heads. There hasn't been a discussion with the individuals in all these department heads, so.
It's only the phone policy.
I know, we haven't had discussion on.
Yeah.
So you guys just dictating it and just putting it in place, so we're gonna have a discussion.
If you want to discuss it tomorrow, let me know.
Well, I do wanna discuss it, I think that the whole board should be discussing it,
Okay. You want to be on the agenda next week for that?
well, whatever, 2 weeks, that's fine.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have voting next week, right? We don't
Yeah,
have voting
that's right.
meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do a private meeting, that's fine too, if we have, we've done that before on voting.
I don't think so.
No.
So,
No.
excuse me, one more thing on the budget committee is it meets after the selectmen's meeting. You made it 5:30. What time did you suggest the budget committee meet?
6:30.
6:30?
Before.
You meet in half an hour? Can you do what you need to do in a half an hour, if the planning board comes on at 7?
Well, they're gonna find out if the planning board could change their day. I think that's what, yeah.
But to Judy's question, if, the planning board votes not to,
Yeah, then we'll have to do a different day for the budget.
or
Well, whatever they decide.
do these only a half hour.
Yeah.
What, the budget committee only meet for half hour?
That's the question.
No, you can't do it.
Takes us 10 minutes to quiet down.
All right. Meeting adjourned.
When they say broadband.
Yeah.
Do they mean a women's group, musical group? Thank you for your time, Jim.
Appreciate it. Understand the original intent of the thing, when you meant to follow the changes over time. Do that.
Yeah.